All right, so we're recording, and I'm really excited to switch up our team calls and start doing them on Mondays because I think a lot more people are gonna be able to hop on Monday nights instead of Saturday mornings. Because especially in the summer, I know how crazy it gets on the weekends. Um, so we'll give this a try and see how it goes, and then if we end up needing to pick a new day or something, we can always regroup and do that if we need to. But what I wanted to talk about tonight is storytelling through your social media, because I know, especially a lot of the newer coaches that we have, something that everyone struggles with sometimes is knowing what to post or how to share. And so I just wanted to talk about that tonight. And I actually found a presentation that another coach in our upline had put together about this topic. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys and just kind of go through that. I don't know if I can share my screen and also still see you guys. I'm not really sure, but we're going to give it a try. So, okay. I guess I can still see you all a little bit over here. Can usually minimize that, but I guess it's not going to let me. Oh, there we go. That's better. Okay, so growing your business through storytelling and mindful content creation. So, super simple, but the first thing is you have to commit to speaking to your audience every single day. Whether, and like it says here, whether you are full makeup and hair or just no makeup, just rolled out of bed, whatever, showing up and putting yourself out there every single day, because that is what builds trust with people, and that is what gets them to really see what you're doing with your life and what kind of journey that you're on, and seeing the ins and outs of it and the good and the bad and all of that helps them to relate to you more. So that's really the whole concept behind storytelling, is people will relate to your story, and people don't want to just be sold to. They don't want to just constantly be bombarded with you trying to get them to buy something or trying to get them to try Shakeology or whatever it is. They want to kind of see into the lifestyle that you're creating and that you're living, and they have to kind of be able to see themselves in your shoes. That is what gets people to commit to it. It's not just because you're a super good salesperson or whatever. It's that they can relate to your story and where you were in the beginning, and they can see that, okay, we have these things in common, and if she can do that, then I can do that too. So the second bullet point here is that if you're struggling with confidence, I know that's something that holds a lot of people back from posting and sharing and kind of being vulnerable with their story, is just that they're not super confident in themselves or what they're doing. If you struggle with that, dive into personal development. Find something. A really good one for self-confidence is The Gifts of Imperfection. If you have never read that, it is so, so good. And I think you can also get it on an audiobook if you want to listen to it. But that book completely changed things for me when it comes to self-confidence. But the third bullet point says your audience needs to see your facial expressions. This builds a relationship and trust. And you have to show up for your followers. So not just on the days you feel like it, but every single day. So showing your face, talking on your stories. And when you do make a post, have your face in it, not just a picture of your workout equipment or just a picture of your food all the time. People want to see you, and they want to see that you are doing this and that you are making this fit into your life. And then the last couple things on this slide is just that commitment. If you want to build a big business, if you want to help out your family financially, if you have big goals, then you have to commit to it and treat it like it's already that kind of business. One little sticky note I have up here on my desk says, how would I treat this if I had $250,000 on the line? As most of us, we all started with our $160 challenge pack, and that's really not much of an investment when you think of the fact that you actually started a business with that. You basically got yourself started on this journey, and I view it as getting to join in on the business was almost free because you paid for the products that you got and you also got to start a business at the same time. So how would you treat it if you had a bunch of money on the line? Like if you were to open up a brick and mortar store and all of the capital that you would have to put up for that, how would you treat this if that was the situation? Because that would probably be differently than how we're treating it now. So check your ego at the door. Who cares what other people think of you? Their opinions won't pay your bills, which is so true. You are never going to post anything that is the wrong thing for the right people, for your people. And that's the way I like to look at it, because I know so many people will get caught up in, oh, I don't want to annoy anyone. I don't want to turn people off, or they don't want to see my posts. Like, if it's your people, they're not going to get turned off by your posts, and they're going to want to see you showing up every single day. And if people don't like it, who cares? They're not your people. You don't really want to be friends with them anyway. If they don't want to see someone who is being positive and making positive changes in their life, like, you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. So this is just an example. It says, to illustrate the importance of properly contextualizing your brand via storytelling, let's say your friend just bought a new hair straightener that they happen to absolutely love. They likely wouldn't show up at your door and read you a sales script about how much they're enjoying its straightening abilities. Your friend would probably give you some background about their purchase decision, why they love it, what it's all about, and then ultimately recommending that you buy one of your own. Okay, now imagine that the friend in this scenario is not a friend, but instead it's a distributor trying to sell you the same product. It's easy to see how you'd be more likely to consider a purchase if the call to action were placed somewhere in a story that you feel compelled to be a part of. So storytelling builds trust. So that's what we're talking about here. So basically, with every single thing that you put out there, every post that you make, when you make stories, whatever it is, tell a story. So think about yourself back to when, before you started this journey, and where you are now, and kind of give them, and it doesn't have to be your whole story every single time. And that's something that I have tried to start getting better at, because it's so easy almost to like tell your whole story, but there's bits and pieces of your story that you can pull out and talk about specifically in your posts. And I used to think like, oh, people know my story. Like, everyone who's friends with me on Facebook and or on Instagram, they know my story, but they don't, because not everyone sees everything that you post. And you get so many new Facebook friends and so many new followers on Instagram all the time who don't know you at all. So you have to constantly be sharing your story over and over again, because that is what inspires people. So what do they want to know? So many of your followers may know someone or follow someone who is a Beachbody coach. That's cool. But as we already know, there are thousands of ways to run this business. So many different approaches, different techniques and styles. People may have preconceived notions of what coaching is all about from their experience with one coach in the past, but storytelling gives you the opportunity to show them that you and your team are all about. Understanding common misconceptions or commonly asked questions your followers may have makes for fabulous content. Use the questions feature on your stories on Instagram to find out what your followers want to know. Okay, so basically this is just saying storytelling gives you the power to talk to those people who are giving you objections. So the people who are telling you that they're too busy, or that it's too expensive, or that they have these preconceived notions that Beachbody is a scam, or that they couldn't do this because your life is just so much easier and there's no way that they could do it. By storytelling through your posts, that gives you a chance to kind of like flip the script on that and say like, look, I used to not have time either, or I thought that I didn't have time. And talk about how you overcame that obstacle, because I know every single one of us at one point or another has told ourselves that we didn't have time for this, that we didn't have time to work out, or we didn't know how to cook or know how to meal prep, and it intimidated us. But like, look at us now. So we have overcome that. That is a story you can tell through your posts and say, look, I've been there. I used to say the same thing, but this is how I overcame that, and I know you can too. And The last little blurb down here is something that I've really started to try to do, and that is if you have content for a post, like a part of your story that you're putting in a post, it doesn't have to just go in that one post. You can make a post about it. You can talk about that in your stories. You can go live and talk about it. You can make a YouTube video. Like that one topic, that one post idea, you can turn into so many different things and people can see it over and over again. And I love that idea. I got that from Melanie Mitro, from a training that I watched from her. But this next part, your values and your voice. So does the content of your story match the values and voice your business and brand is aiming for? Do your followers know what the vibe of your challenge group is? Do you give them a glimpse into that part of your business? Let them know what they are in for. Build the value, okay? Do your followers know what kind of mentor and leader you are? What trainings are you hosting or that you are a part of? What new coach training entails for your team, etc. Talk to your followers about trainings you're working on. Share screenshots of assignments and training groups. Share images of you creating trainings, and this also builds trust. So give them like a glimpse into what it is that you're doing. Like, don't just talk about it and expect that they know what it is, because they don't. So like go into our challenge group and screenshot some stuff and post it to your stories. And I will say, if you're doing that, if you're going to post like a transformation picture or something of someone, I would always ask them first before you share that, because our challenge groups are like a private place. So before I ever share anything on my stories that comes from our groups, I always try to make sure that whoever it is, that they're okay with that. But so share your approach to coaching, how you treat your team, if you do prizes or giveaways. Talk about how proud you are of your new coaches and challengers, and like give them shout outs. That's actually a part of our business activity tracker, is giving people recognition and doing that on our stories and in our team pages and things. So shout people out. Show that it's not just you getting results, but that it's everyone in our group is getting results. Because some people might say, oh, well, she can do it, but she's the only one who's getting results. But we know that that's not true. Everyone who is following you doesn't get that like insider insight into our groups, and they don't know what it's like. So that's why like giving them that little sneak peek on your stories by screenshotting some stuff, giving some shout outs, sharing some transformations from our group that aren't just yours, builds so much trust with people, because it gives them more proof that this actually works and that it could work for them too. And it doesn't have to just be about challenge groups. Like it says, share about our team calls that we do. Share about a training. If you're participating in a training that Lindsay Matway or somebody is doing, share about what you're learning in there, and share about how you're not alone in this business, that you have people to help you and train you and teach you everything that you need to know, because that helps too, because people don't want to feel like they're going to join this and be on their own. They want to know that they're going to have support. So your target audience, this is a big, big thing. So think about who you are trying to attract. And most of the time, it's people who are most similar to you are the people who you're going to attract into your business and that you're going to want to work with, because the people who you are the most similar to, you're going to get along with them. You're going to be able to create a like meaningful relationship with them. You're going to become friends. It's going to make it so much more fun. Like, you don't want to work with people who you don't like. Like, it just would take all the fun out of this business. So think about qualities that you have that you can look for in other people. So, and think about, before you're posting or sharing, are you trying to attract new challengers? Are you trying to attract new coaches? Or are you trying to convert your current challengers to coaches? That's something to think about. Every time you speak to your audience, keep in mind who your target audience is, and this will ensure your message is properly received. So basically, like, just think back to when we were in school. Like, before you sat down to write a paper, you had to think about your audience, or before you sat down to write a speech, you thought about who your audience is. That way you can make sure you're targeting it to them. So in order to grow your target audience, follow more of the types of people you hope to target. So think about age, gender, lifestyle, career, hobbies that you like, and search those hashtags and follow people on Instagram, comment and like their pictures, and then like follow their friends. That's how you expand your network and get more people to seeing your stuff, is just going out there and searching for other people who are like you. And this is an example that the girl who put this presentation together, she said, as a former dental hygienist and an expectant mama, I was always searching for women like me in the dental field or around the similar stage in our pregnancy. So just think about any, like, whatever season of life that you're in, and try to search and find people who are going through those same kind of things, or like in that same season of life with you, because you all are going to relate to each other and be able to like really see each other in each other's shoes, if that makes sense. Deacon is in there whining. I don't know if y'all can hear him. So a story worth sharing. So this is just making sure that your story is shareable. So if you're making videos, posting them to your IGTV, that way they're there for other people to see. And other people can share that video on their Instagram. Or if you're going to make a YouTube video, like I have made a YouTube video before where I share my story, kind of like start to finish, everything. And I have it on YouTube, and I will send it to people from time to time just if they want to know more about me and how I got started. But obviously, those kind of things aren't necessary, especially in the beginning of your business. It's just something that you can keep in the back of your mind. Let's see. And it says one thing to keep in mind also is an easy but effective way to increase the shareability of your story is to talk more about your customers. So use your stories to show the future fans, your team and business, how your business has positively impacted on the lives of your current challengers and coaches. So that's just basically sharing the results of other people and not just you. So utilizing Instagram. Videos and stories on social platforms generate greater engagement than posts alone. So we all know that. So it's stories and posts. If you aren't blowing up your stories every day, you are missing out. Deacon, come here. So few things can better demonstrate the human side of your business and build a relationship with your followers, like a short behind the scenes clip. So I like this tip that she gives. It says, don't share too much of the same thing in one day. So like a few workout posts are good, but you don't need to share your entire 30-minute workout on there. And post with purpose, not just for the sake of filling up your story. So like today, I did a short little video clip this morning talking about my morning because I was going to get up and go through my morning routine and do my yoga and all of that, but I turned my alarm off and I totally overslept. So I got on there, I talked about that and about starting my day. And throughout my day, I just shared about what I was doing. I told them how I was starting the reset today, and I shared my food every single meal all day long. I took pictures of it and shared it on there. And then I also shared when I got my yoga done during my lunch break and that I went on a walk. I shared a little bit of the personal development that I listened to while I was on my walk. And then I also just shared like some videos of Deacon just to give a little more insight into like more of the personal side of my life. So in addition to your stories, make sure you're posting once a day to Instagram. So we used to say like 3 or 4 posts a day, but 1 post a day is plenty as long as you are getting on your stories too, because think about when you go to Instagram. Like, are you going through and reading everybody's posts, or do you like to go watch everybody's stories? I know I much prefer to go watch everybody's stories. So in planning your content, Christy, you and I talked about this yesterday, but planning your content the day or a few days before will even free up some more time for you. So I like to sit down on the weekends and try to plan out my posts. I may or may not completely write them out as like a draft. Just depends on how much time I have. But if I'm really wanting to be strategic and save myself time and be more organized with my business, then I will sit down and say like, okay, on Monday, I'm going to post a transformation. And I'm going to talk about all the excuses that I hear all the time and how you can overcome them. On Tuesday, I'm going to talk about making time to work out even when I thought I couldn't. And just like brainstorming some topic ideas so I know what I'm going to post, and it saves so much time. Okay. And then when you do that, it gives you more time to focus on inviting people and talking to people and following up and all of those other activities. You don't have to spend so much time just trying to create a post. So we're almost done. So choose a platform and rock it. So basically, figure out which platform, Facebook or Instagram, that you are most comfortable with, that you get the most engagement from, that you have the most people you can talk to, wherever your business is doing the best, and focus on that. So I still share all of my posts. I share them on Instagram and I share them on Facebook because honestly, I get about 50-50% of my business from both platforms. But some people, it's the total opposite. Some people, they get 90 to 95% of their business all from Instagram or all from Facebook. So like notice that and pay attention to that. That way you can focus on that one a little bit more. And that's why I also focus, like I share my stories to my Facebook, but I'm more interactive on Instagram than I am on Facebook really. So the last couple of things is just be open, authentic, and consistent. So just be yourself. Like, don't be worried about being perfect. Don't be worried about saying all the right things or that your life is boring or people don't care. Like, people want to see the boring. People want to see just the normal day-to-day life that you live because it makes you human. It makes you relatable. Because people don't want to see perfect because perfect is not attainable. And if you're coming off as that everything is perfect all the time and you never mess up or you never struggle, then that's not relatable and people aren't going to be able to see themselves in your shoes and being able to do this too. So a lot of times people are super skeptical because there are so many different things out there. And you just have to be super confident in what you have to offer and that it works and that it's real and it's not just a quick fix. And you're not just going to sign them up with a challenge pack and then leave them hanging to figure it out all on their own. That this is a community, that we're a family, that we're a team, because we're here for each other 24/7 all the time. And that is what sets us apart from, aside from the fact that this is like the tried and true way to get healthy, our community is also what sets us apart from every other thing that's out there because they don't give that. They don't give the accountability groups and having to coach and having other people behind them. So talk about that and just be real and be you and show the good and the bad and be consistent. Consistency is seriously the biggest thing. If you take anything away from this call tonight, it's to just be consistent. Even on the days when you just really don't want to, like today, I really didn't want to post today because I'm super tired. I'm really struggling with the fact that Tyler is gone all summer long and I'm here by myself. Like, I hate it. Like, it's basically all I've been thinking about here lately and I need to snap out of the funk. But I am still showing up the best that I can and putting myself out there because I know that I have a gift to offer people. And even when I'm struggling, when I'm having a hard time, I'm still going to show up because you guys are still showing up. You are still showing up in our groups, so I'm going to. And you all keep me going. And I know that there are other people out there who are in the same situation as me who need that. There might be some girl watching my story who is also going through a long distance relationship right now and really having a hard time, and she needs community too. So that is why I keep showing up every single day. Let's see if I missed anything on that. Yeah. Okay. So just educate and inform your followers. So share the details, talk about what comes with your challenge pack, talk about the cost of coaching, share the ingredients in Shakeology. So just talk about your journey as a coach because people want to know those things. And the more you see people where they're selling something and people will ask questions, but they won't ever give the details. We're not like that. We can put all the details out there because there's nothing weird about it. There's nothing to hide, and just be real with people. So This last thing, I know I've kind of gone through this really fast, but hang on, I wish I could. Sorry, Deacon is like whining and crying. I don't know what he wants. I think he wants to go outside. But, anyways, this last slide is just a bunch of different ideas of things that you can share. And if you're showing up every day, if you're doing, I've said this so many times before, if you're doing the vital behaviors, being a product of the product, reading your personal development, inviting people, um, and showing up in our challenge groups, you have something to post about every single day if you are doing those things. So, here are some ideas. I'm just going to read through these real quick. So, talk about what your day looks like, family fun, your work life, your real life. No matter how boring you think it is, other people are going to find it interesting, I promise. So, what program are you committed to? Who's the trainer? Why do you like them? What are the workouts like? What results are you noticing? Talk about that. Talk about your meals, your grocery hauls, what nutrition program you're committed to, what all have you learned from the Ultimate Portion Fix, what have been some of your favorite recipes that you've tried. Are you incorporating it with your family? Talk about your shakes, talk about the ingredients and the benefits and what it's doing for you and the changes that you've seen in your life. Talk about your pets. Oh my gosh, people love it when you talk about your dogs or horses or whatever. They love that. New purchases, share what you bought. So if you go to Target and you get a bunch of stuff, share about it. If you get a new outfit, post a picture and share where it's from. What are you reading? What are you learning? An outfit of the day. What goals are you working towards? How do you set goals? How do you hold yourself accountable? If you have a morning routine, what does your morning routine look like? If you're going to Summit or Super Saturday, you can share about those. If you're earned a spot on the Success Club trip, or if you're working to earn your spot towards the Success Club trip next year, talk about that. If you're working at a coffee shop with a fellow coach or friend, share about that. If you completed a workout program, share your results. Shout out your challengers. Share testimonials from fellow coaches and share their success stories. Share your workout playlist. Tips and tricks for organization, for decorating, gardening, literally. You guys, the list goes on and on and on and on of the things that you can talk about. The biggest thing, though, is just to be yourself. Share your voice, your humor, your mission, what makes you happy, what you look forward to, what you value. Just share. And everything, if you find out something that is helping you on your journey, or to keep your house clean, or a cooking tip that you learned, share it on your stories, share it in a post with people. That is what social media is for, is sharing and helping each other. And like, the more value that you can add to other people for free, the better, because that's going to build the trust with them. They're going to get to know you on a deeper level. They're going to see that, like, hey, she is not just about selling me something or trying to get me to join her group. She is really interested in me and helping me to be a better person. And she shares all of this knowledge with us that she learns and everything that makes her life easier. And people love that. And then that gets them to thinking, like, hey, if she's like putting all this stuff out there for free, what would it be like to actually pay to be in her group? Because that's probably really awesome. So that is it for that presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And now I feel like I went through that super quick, but does anybody have any questions about that or anything at all? Any comments or anything? You can, I think everybody's muted. You'll have to unmute yourself if you do. Nope. The biggest thing really is just being real and talking about your story and thinking about, because those are the most, when you think about it, those are the most fun posts that you read on social media, is the ones where you get to learn a little bit more about somebody and really get to see like how they've changed. And that is what gets people to relate to you and to be able to see themselves doing what you're doing. That makes sense. Does that all make sense? At least. Deacon is killing me. Well, if nobody has any questions or anything, I'll stop recording and we can